Welcome back to the Pictures YouTube channel. In today's class, we'll be learning how to make this organza ruffle detail. Okay, it can actually be placed anywhere you want. It doesn't have to be on the neckline. You can place it on your waistline, across your chest area, or anywhere you want. And it's really beautiful and very simple to make. This is what you like to learn. Kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. To make these ruffles, we'll be working with organza fabric. So I'll be placing it on these off shoulder bodies, and I already have my off shoulder bodies here sewn. Okay, so I just added this small sleeve to it so that to make adding the ruffles easier. So it depends on where you want to place your ruffles. For me, I'll be placing it around the shoulder, which is around the neckline of these bodies. So now I just want to know the measurement of that place, and then I'm going to measure it round, excluding the zipper allowance. Okay, so I'm just taking measurement, the round shoulder measurements. Basically I'm taking it round, and I have around 41 inches. Okay, remember this zipper allowance is not included. So I have 41 inches for my round shoulder, and I have my organza. So depending on how full you want your ruffles to be, the 41 inches measurement, you can multiply it by 3, 4, 5, or 6, depending on the amount of fabric you have to work with. So now I'll be folding my organza. I want to do it like in 3 layers. You can make the length, the width, that's how wide the organza, how wide the ruffle is. You can make it equal if you want, and you can make it have different length, so that it will, there's a kind of effect that gives it to, especially because we are using organza. Assuming I'm working with a 2 net now, and I make it equal, I may still prefer the outcome, but because I'm working with this organza, I want it to have different length. Okay, so the biggest one, the first one, I'll make it like 10 inches in length. Okay, so after the 10 inches, I'll just deduct 2 inches for the next one, which will be 8 inches, and for the next one 6 inches, for the next one 4 inches. If you want to have like 4 different layers, if you want to have 2 different layers, it's fine. If you want to have 3 layers, it's also fine, depends on what you're aiming to get. So now for the first one, now I'm going to be folding my fabric into 2, and then I'll cut out my my measurement of 10 inches. I remember this organza is by 60. Okay, so I'm cutting out to that 60 times 60, that's around 120 inches. Okay, which is what I'll be managing, because this is a tutorial. But if you want it really full, you can cut maybe around 180 inches of length, maybe 3 of these, and you join them together to give you one long strip. So I'll just be cutting 2 of this now, and then I'll bring it back to show us. Okay, so I've gone ahead to cut out my organza now. Like I said, this is the first one, which is going to be around 10 inches. Okay, so I have 10 inches there, and I've cut 2 of this. So this is the second one, which is going to be around 8 inches, and I also cut 2 of this. Okay, and the last one is 6 inches. Okay, so this is 8 inches. As you can see, I cut 2 of it also, and the last one is 6 inches. I also cut 2 of it. So now the first thing I'm going to do now is to join the 2 together. Okay, so I'll just take them together like this, take it to the sewing machine, and then join it so that I'll have one long strip. So after joining it, you may want to take this to the serger, and then you use your serger to serge it. It gives it like a kind of finishing, like your normal weaving machine. It gives it this kind of weaving edge that makes it look beautiful. Or you just use your lighter to help you cover this frilling part, because organza do frizz a lot. So if you use your lighter to burn the edges, it will seal it, to seal the edges for you, so you can hide. Or you, if you don't mind, you can decide to just take it to your machine now, and then turn it manually, so that you have something neat at the edges. So after that, now we'll explain how we are going to be gathering this to our fabric. Okay, so I've gone ahead to join this together now. So to seal the edges, like I said, you can either serge it or just turn it, or you burn the edges with your lighter. Sorry. So I'm just going to be sealing my edges now, and then I'm ready on my sewing machine So I'll just place it on my sewing machine now and sew the edges. So I'm just going to be folding it over like this in a very tiny way, and then I'm going to sew it. I'm going to keep sewing it like that. And both edges. So I've gone ahead to sew it on both edges. Now you can see that it is neat. So the next thing now is for me to arrange them. So this is the widest one, which is going to be on the underneath like this. Then the next one is going to be placed on top of the widest one. So you centralize it in a way that you have equal measurements on both sides, and the shortest one is going to be placed on the middle one like this. You can see how I'm placing it. So after placing the three like this, you can see it's 1 2 3. I'm going to take it to the sewing machine now and then run a gather at the edge like this. So I'm just going to be gathering it with my hand, and then I'm going to sew with the sewing machine. So we're on the machine now and we're about to gather this. So I'm just going to place it in the middle like this, and I'm going to start by back stitching. Then I'm going to be using my hand. So just make sure that you have equal thing on both sides. So I'm just going to be using my hand to gather it, and then I'm going to sew, and then I'll gather it again till I finish everything. So I'll be gathering it, and then I'm going to sew, making sure that I have the same thing on both sides. So that is how you continue to gather it till you finish gathering everything. So you can see what we have here already. You just keep gathering everything till you gather it till the end. Okay, so this have been gathered now, And the measurement that will guide you in gathering this is your round shoulder measurement that you take. So make sure you gather it to the exact round shoulder measurement you are taking, and then after gathering it, you take it to the main bodies you want to add it to, and then sew it to the bodies like this, after you might have turned the bodies with a lining. Okay, so you place it on the hem line of the bodies like this, on the neckline area like this, and then you sew it. So I'm just going to be pinning this first to see if it's my size, and then I am going to take it to the machine to sew it. Okay, so this is our organza ruffle, and you can see how full and beautiful this is looking. Okay, it's very full and beautiful. So for this I used 3 layers of 6 inches, 8 inches and 10 inches, but it's not compulsory. You can use 1 layer, but I just like the effect that each hemline, imagine if you serge this with a pink thread, this will have come out really nicer than this. We just turned this because it's a tutorial. So assuming you serge this, I like the hemline of the serging to be showing with each layer. Okay, that's why I prefer to just do it in layers like that. It's really beautiful and it's beginner friendly. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you enjoyed this, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.